Hi, I'm Rajiv Satyal. I'm a comedian and a host. I am Indian.
And I'm American. So this show will tell the story of Indians in America.
I live right here in Los Angeles, the home of Warner Brothers, Disney, and now Funny Indian Productions. My guest picks a game, and we play it. So enjoy. What do you bring to the table?
Welcome everybody to this episode of What Do You Bring to the Table? I'm your host Rajiv Satyal, and I'm thrilled to be sitting here with my old roommate. That's your credit. That's your credit. Hasan Minhaj, everybody. Hasan Minhaj, what is up? Yeah, you can clap. That's fine. The crew can clap. It's all good. That's fine. We're gonna do it that style.
Three people behind the camera.
I know, exactly. We have like 4 cameras, 3 people. That's pretty impressive. So
what's happening, man?
If things are good, man. How you been?
Yeah, I'm good.
Good.
I like the title of this series. What do you bring to the table?
I'm glad.
It's putting the onus on the guest. I'm
Right.
Like, damn, what?
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Like the whole esoteric crisis in your head. Like, what am I bringing to the table?
What did I do? I just this morning re-listened to our podcast from June 2011.
Was it good?
It was remarkably good. So my friend Neil was like, you need to go back and listen to it, and you'll hear young Hasan Minhaj and all of his thoughts. But you're pretty fully formed, even though you kind of took the mick out on yourself. You're like, I'm not. But
right.
You sounded pretty coherent.
Okay.
Which is good.
Okay, but were you not?
I mean, I just was, I was born ready.
Got it.
That's how I just came out,
Right.
I didn't come out crying, I came out laughing. That's how I do it.
Right.
So,
okay.
But no, man, I want to give you a real shout out. You stay in touch, like you hit me up, you like my stuff on Facebook.
Yeah.
And yeah, man, you're just a good friend.
I try to, this is my general rule. I know sometimes picking up calls is tough because we all have meetings in life and commitments and stuff like that. But I think a text back and being transparent is the best thing you can do.
I think it's cool. I think a lot of people aren't like that, which is nuts.
Yeah, but haven't you found the older you get, actually, there's been 2 things, and I think I failed at the second. The first thing is that if you can just tell people, we're playing Connect 4?
So this is the first part of the game is, is getting that right.
There we go. If you can just tell people up front whether you can or can't do something.
Sure.
Especially if you can't, even if it is front-loaded with awkwardness, you're preventing far more pain.
That's true. A quick no is better than a slow yes.
Yeah, but it's just that jolt of like, hey, you're a jerk, or hey, I'm disappointed, hits you first.
Yeah, it's
right?
true.
From your friend.
I know, it hurts. Like, where do you feel that in your body? Like, when I say no to people, where do you feel it? Like, is it in your head? Is it like burning in your ears? Is it in your gut?
It feels like anxiety in my general torso, and you know what I mean? Of like, I could feel bad and da-da-da-da. But sometimes, like, you felt this, like, you just can't scale everything.
Yeah.
Like, I just can't get it all in.
That's what
we're both
anyone.
We're both married, right? So it's like, it's just like,
speaking of cheese. It's true. You're right.
Yeah. So that's it. Or just like straight up just work commitment,
Well, I mean, so how do you say no to people? You've blown up huge, right?
Right.
So you get asked to do a lot of things that you don't want to do, or maybe not able, not willing, whatever.
I'll just say, thank you, but maybe, I can't do it. Like it literally doesn't work in my schedule. Or just being pragmatic, like so straight up, like, hey, that thing that you want me to do, I appreciate you asking me to do it. You want me to host that thing, or you want me to come to that thing. That's just not my thing, but I appreciate you asking me. Like, do you know what I mean? Just being like,
it's just not my jam. It's not my groove, whatever.
Yeah. We can't do everything. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, they say you can be everything, but you can be anything, but not everything.
No, but like if hypothetically, let's say you wanted to say no to this.
Okay.
Hey, do you want to host the NHL awards? Right? And you're just like, yeah, I could. Like, but if you're just like, look, I'm not interested.
Yeah.
It's not my thing.
What the puck?
Anyone. Yeah, all that stuff, right? You just be like, if you're just straight up just like, hey, just look, it's just not my,
Yeah, so you treat it like a breakup.
Yeah,
It's like you put a lot of pressure
but
on
I think
yourself.
but yeah, and it's like totally like, I think you're cool, I think you're great, but let's just not. Gotta stop that right there.
Yeah, that's good. That's how you say no and connect forward.
And I think the second thing, and I'm
Yeah.
still bad at this, but I saw this from Jerry Seinfeld,
Huh.
is just try to be 5 minutes early to stuff.
Oh.
Today I wasn't.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I've been notoriously bad at this.
Yeah.
That like on time isn't enough, be 5 minutes early.
Yeah, like on time is late. People say that.
Dude, I
That's hard though.
I did Comedians in Cars Getting Coffee with Jerry Seinfeld,
Wow.
which was crazy, right?
That's bananas.
He comes and he picks you up at your apartment. He was at my apartment, waiting outside. Jerry Seinfeld denim, blue blazer, white Oxford, Nike Shox, the classic Jerry Seinfeld fit. Outside of my apartment building 5 minutes early. Standing there with his hands in his pockets, waiting for me to come out of the double doors. And I'm like, dude, this guy's a quadrillionaire, significantly more successful. Like he's
And he's 5 minutes early.
and he's 5 minutes early, right? Beyond just him being Jerry Seinfeld, I was just like, oh man, I'm the one who's like running with bags. I'm the one who doesn't have his stuff together. So that's the first thing you said. You talk about just like mental edge. He already has that.
He already has that, yeah.
And then when you start hearing stories about other people that are in his sort of weight class in different fields, Jay-Z, other people, that they're 5 minutes early, that they're early. I was like, man, I gotta be better at that.
That, like if they can do it. It's like if we all have the same 24 hours in a day.
Yeah, he's doing it, and he's still doing it. That's the thing, he's earned not doing it, not having to do it.
He's earned being an hour late.
Yeah, and you're still like, oh, thank you. It's almost like they're playing on your court.
Yeah.
It's almost like welcome to practice.
That's great.
Yeah, thanks for showing up. I was already shooting around, I'm sweating.
Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty consistently 5 to 10 minutes late. I just always have been.
Why is that?
I
is
don't
that?
respect the other person.
I'm saying for me, like, or for you, it's just you don't respect the other person?
No, I mean, I don't know. Why are people late? I don't know. Someone tweeted, I'm gonna be late because of the person I am. It's just like hilarious, like just because who I am as a person or whatever. And I'm like, yeah, I mean, I don't know if I just missed. I mean, I'm on time for flights though in movies.
Right.
So I can be on time.
And a lot of times we hold ourselves to a very like high esteem. Like I'm a really da-da-da person.
Yeah.
I'm a really well put together person. I'm a really this and that. For us, a lot of times we're collaborating, we're working with people.
Sure.
I get mad at myself. I'm like, dude, how do you have the audacity to expect people to shoot, edit your stuff, deliver you a cut, and you're coming in late?
Yeah.
Even if it's like 2 minutes, you should be the, you know what I mean?
You should be quarterbacking.
We should set the precedent, especially in our line of work.
Yeah. Well, speaking of late, it's your turn.
Right.
So, from where in India does your family hail?
Yeah, my family's from UP, Aligarh. And then,
Aligarh. You rep that.
Hard.
Hell, hard. Davis and Aligarh. Davis, man, for sure. In one word, what are you?
One word? I guess I'm a comedian.
That's a fair.
Yeah.
Comedians and Cars Getting Coffee.
Yeah. I'm a comedian.
Do you have like a motto or a slogan or like a North Star purpose statement, anything like that?
Motto or what's yours?
I don't know. I don't know if I have one. No, it is. It is to make as many people laugh and think as I can.
Oh, that's cool. It's a tough one. I think just to tell the best stories that I can.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You consider yourself like a raconteur, like a storyteller.
Yeah, I just think I try to use whichever medium I'm in to tell the best story.
Yeah. I can see that.
Yeah.
I can see that. I mean, obviously with Homecoming King, that was a great example of that, which congratulations, by the way.
Oh, thanks.
Phenomenal performance.
What was that like for you? Because you know me so well, and then for you to see that, it'd be like, whoa, I didn't know all that about Davis. I didn't know all that about his
Yeah, I knew like surface, I knew some of it, like an inch wide and a mile deep, and other stuff the other way around.
Right.
But it's great, like, as I tell people, I'm like, yeah, he's my old roommate, people would, it's amazing the reaction that gets. Like, people are like,
really?
Really? Like, you know him?
Yeah.
And I'm like, and they're like, oh, for like a couple months? I was like, no, like 2 years. Like, it's a long time.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, I like, you think about the people in your life with whom you've spoken the most, like the number of minutes you've clocked with somebody. Probably like our wives or parents or whatever.
Yeah.
Outside of that, I mean, you're probably top 10, 15.
Right. Just chopping it up.
I mean, hours, right? Like in the apartment,
yeah.
just breaking it down, summing it up, whatever we did.
Yeah, those were like some of the funnest times In my life, yeah. I mean, think about like the conversations you get with comedians and colleagues, like during this window of time.
Yeah.
Like kind of before you're married,
right.
when you're still in that like hustle growth mode where you're just growing, evolving. Like it's a pretty awesome time.
It was. Yeah. And we talked about that on the podcast. We're like, these are our good old days.
Yeah.
And,
but I do everything I can to recreate that now still. Is it my turn?
I think. I lost track. I'm looking. Yeah, I think it's your turn. Okay, cool. Hopefully somebody's refereeing that. I don't know. But yeah, no, I mean, I thought that was kind of cool. Like, I watched it through a different lens because one, I know you, and two, like I did a one-person show about my dating life. And so it was like interesting to see the direction in which you went, and just, I mean, the production quality was just insane.
Right.
You know? Which, I mean, the show is good too. It's not not like that.
No, that's what's cool is when you talk to other comics, the biggest thing that they're talking about is that they're like, oh, dude, the visual storytelling of it.
You
was
painted
really
the pictures so well.
Yeah.
With the different media and whatever else.
Yeah.
Because I thought that'd be it's like a great YouTube comment on someone's set. If you just don't like the comic, you're like, great crowd. It's just like giving props to the people who are literally not on stage.
Yeah.
But I noticed that I felt like you started evolving and developing more as an artist when you went back and started watching like the old classics and dramas and stuff. You weren't into that stuff before. Like, I would talk about that Best Picture or whatever, and then you're like, yeah, man, I watched The Godfather. Yeah, when I watched this. And I'm like, I felt like that was an area that, you started to become much more well-rounded, and it showed in all your performances.
Yeah, I think just exposing myself to other genres was really good for me. Yeah.
Yeah. Have you made it?
Have I made it? Yeah, I think I made it. I think like financially, I think I think in that way. But I think creatively, what's so cool, and with the passing of Dick Gregory, you never make it. You just continue to do this thing.
Sure.
Yeah.
I think Seinfeld said that, right? The reward of stand-up is you get to keep doing it.
Yeah, you just get to do it. And like what's so cool is, like as I get older, I realize that like, man, I used to want to be an athlete so bad. And now I feel for them. If you're 34, 35, you're on the tail, you're almost done, or you are done.
Oh, yeah.
At being an athlete, it's a wrap. Something you did your whole life, you're done. Don't you feel like we're just getting started?
Yeah, for sure.
Like, don't you feel like, oh man, like it's just getting good?
I just found, like, I knew my mom's dad made it to 98. I just found this out, which is crazy. I don't know how I'm just finding this out. My dad's grandparents made it to 104.
Wow.
So
God willing, you're gonna be here a while.
God willing, inshallah. Like it's one of those things where
I didn't put that on you. That's you doing Sharia law.
Yeah. That's right. It's infiltrating the country, man. I'm telling you, seriously. No, I just kind of felt like it's good to be on the grind, on the hustle, but pace yourself, man. You need something to do when you're like 97. I mean, like I can't be like, oh, I have to host the Oscars by the time I'm 50. It's like, yeah, that's cool, but you could also host them if I God willing, get to that point. It's like, you can host them when you're 80, dude. It's fine, that happens. Like,
right.
Whatever big accomplishment, whatever goal you have, you got a lot of time.
Right. I mean, also, it's just like, to me, the fun of it is like, what other colors can you paint with, or what are the new elements or things that you're adding to your act or adding to your body of work? That's what's really exciting.
Yeah.
Of like, oh man, like I'm gonna try this thing, or I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna try doing a movie like this, or I'm gonna try doing a show like this. That's what's really cool. There's sort of no limit to it. When you talk about it that way, I think the real question you're trying to ask is like, and it's all predicated on like, are you hot right now? Making it as like,
that's interesting.
Are you the thing? But that window of you being like white hot, of any artist being like white hot, is this much.
Yeah. Martina Navratilova said, the tennis player, the moment of victory is much too short to live for that and nothing else.
Yeah.
I was like, wow, that is good. Because it's like as soon as you win the last point, it's like, I wonder if they're gonna defend next year. Like, like the ball is still bouncing after going through the hoop. Yeah. And you're asking, are they going to defend next year?
I mean, think about it. You get maybe that press conference, the headline the next day.
Right.
You do ESPN First Take.
Yeah.
And like within 72 hours or 96 hours, they're like baseball season.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's like it's done.
It's done.
And so to me, I'm like, that sucks. There's people that people that stretch that window as long as you can.
Right.
You're LeBron James, you're Michael Jordans, they have that window for a long time. But man, like Jay-Z even had this really great New York Times interview recently where they asked him, like, do you think you're the hottest rapper? And he's like, no, I'm not. If you think about music, and you love music, a new thing, a new artist comes all the time.
Totally.
Especially in hip hop. A Kendrick will have the crown, or a Lil
like
Wayne.
Cardi B now too, Nicki. You know, you think of your sister Nicki Minaj.
So like Lil Wayne will be like, oh man, Lil Wayne. Remember Lil Wayne was like, oh, he took the throne, and then Kendrick Lamar happened, and then Drake happened, and then it always sort of shifts. So I think the bigger thing is that as we live longer and longer, and artists get a chance now because of the way we disseminate information and do work. Now it's like, I think the real challenge for us is like, what's your body of work?
Yeah. And that's what's exciting. Like, I think about that too. I'm like, there's so many things I want to do. Like, for an hour next year or whatever, I want to talk about this, I want to talk about that. And I think as long as you have, you learn that in acting class, right? I mean, as long as you have intent, then you're still alive, you're still moving forward.
Do you think there's anything you can or can't do?
Can or cannot do?
Yeah, do you ever go like, remember, like if you think about 15 years ago, you're like, I can't write and produce my own movie. How would you? It's impossible.
Right. It just seems. Yeah. I think of what blows my mind is writing a TV show. Like a movie is still event based. A TV is character based, so they have to come up with situations every week. Like that's mind blowing to me. Like writing The Wire, that's nuts. Whereas like writing an album, it seems hard. Writing a movie seems hard, but it's an event. It's one thing. It's done. But something that is in perpetuity, that to me seems really, really hard.
Yeah.
But it's like, I don't know. Who knows what's easy, as Nicholson says in Departed. It's just such an easy quote, like who knows what's easy. But it's true. Like, I don't know. Like whatever you're good at, I guess, is easy to you. And if you're not good at something, it just seems hard.
I agree with that. Yeah.
Yeah. Like I'm not good at Connect 4 all over. I'm just playing defense the entire time, evidently. So I guess the way I look at it, like, have you made it? I think we talked about this years ago, which was.
Can I just say this real quick? That's one of my favorite things. You were saying just playing defense the whole time. This is just like my personal MO.
Yeah.
Anytime I'm in a weird headspace, I'm like, are you playing offense or are you playing defense?
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Like even career-wise or whatever.
Everything. Like sometimes when I'm going online and you read YouTube comments or you read people's diatribes on Facebook.
Yeah.
But this is my personal. This is my 2 cents on it. Like, and trust me, I feel those emotions.
Right.
Kevin Durant. Why did that cupcake leave OKC and go to the Warriors?
The Warriors.
Wait, what?
Right.
What are you doing?
What changed my life?
What does his life have to do anything to do with me?
It was in Bronx Tale where he goes, the mob boss goes, Mickey Mantle doesn't care about you, so why should you care about him?
Yeah.
It's like, wow, that's
tell that
powerful.
to your dad. Yeah. Is he gonna pay the rent?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Didn't your dad even say that? Like, you had Michael Jordan posters. He's like, why do you worship this guy?
He doesn't care about you.
Yeah.
I used to have Michael Jordan posters and my Michael Jordan, Scottie Pippen, like all these basketball players, Hakeem Olajuwon, all this stuff on my wall. He goes, he doesn't care about you. Like, why do you have him on your wall? He does not care about you.
But maybe he does now. Maybe Michael Jordan.
They 100%
Jay-Z.
But I love the point that he was making of like,
I don't know.
You living and dying by their accomplishments is like, it's not meaningless, but it's just like, I get, it's such a Indian dad move to say that.
Yeah.
But
dad move.
But what that does force you to do is go, oh yeah, like Russell Westbrook's accomplishments and or bank account has no impact on my life.
Yeah.
So I have to be my own Russell Westbrook.
Yeah.
Like I have to broker my own life and my own dream. Yeah.
That's what's up. So I guess when I think of like, have you made it? Let's break that down in terms of like, paint me the moments. So the inflection points of how you got to where you are. So I think of that in terms of like, when is the first time you even thought that you might be good at stand-up? You hadn't tried it yet, but you're like, yeah. Like, did you first think I'm funny, or did you think I'm gonna try stand-up? What came first?
I think I thought I had an interesting perspective, and when I would do like speech and debate and public speaking in high school and tournaments, is it me?
I think it's me.
Okay.
No, it's you. It's you.
When I would do those things in high school, I would always be funny, and I would get extra points from the judges.
Right.
So then when I went to college, the inflection point for me was, stand-up comedy is funny speech and debate.
Yeah.
So that
Making
was
a funny argument.
That was the whole, like, that opened it up for me.
Because you're a poli-sci major, right?
Yeah. So I'm just like, oh, if I can just make funny
arguments.
Because
I always thought of that too. Like, I think of myself as a funny idea guy.
Yeah.
Like, I have just funny solutions to problems.
Yeah.
You know, like that in and of itself is like just making that argument. Like, how did you get there?
And I've just had a natural affinity for simile. Like, I was really good at saying, this is like this.
Yeah. You literally said like after you said simile. That was perfect.
Yeah, but people would always tell me, oh, that's such a great, you connected those two things.
Right.
But that's really all stand-up comedy is.
Totally.
You take like a generic thing that happens and then you compare it to something that's more relatable.
Yeah. Yeah. So then you get the idea to do stand-up.
Yeah.
You start, obviously. What was that point? Was that 03, 02?
04.
04 is when you started.
Yeah, September 04,
September 04. So you've been doing it for 13 years.
Yes.
Okay. And paint the moment for me, like, from that point then. Like, from there to here, what do you consider your leaps and bounds?
I think the first big one was, sort of burning the boats, moving back home, and just going all in on doing open mics and stand-up.
I like that, burning the boats.
Yeah,
Right?
dude.
It's like, this is my island.
Dude, you gotta burn the boats.
Okay.
And at every point, you gotta burn the boats. When you try to get to the new piece of land, just burn the boats. And so that was like, hey, you're not gonna do the traditional college thing where I live in the dorms, now I live in the apartments with my friends. It's like, you're moving home, you're gonna save as much money as possible, and you're gonna take your parents' car and you're gonna drive to gigs.
Wow.
In Sacramento and San Francisco.
Yeah.
So it's not about, whatever, beer pong and hanging out, doing that.
Yeah.
That's dead. You're doing this now. And you just gotta go all in on this.
And you do. Like, you don't drink.
Right.
That's
right.
a big thing.
Right.
I think it is.
Right.
And it's also because I always thought of it like, you and I would give each other props, like, wow, we work really hard. But I remember somebody said about you, it's like, yeah, but he doesn't drink. That's a big thing. Like, Hasan eats and lives and breathes comedy. Like, everything, your life felt like, speaking of offense, defense, like, you're just on the offensive. You're just, I think of Big Sean, I got no hobbies. I'm just like, that's totally HM.
Right. But I'm very lucky. I found a thing that I loved.
Yeah.
I got fired from all my other jobs. Safeway fired.
Ning.
Office Max fired. Ning fired.
Office Max fired?
Yeah.
How'd you get fired from Office Max?
I just couldn't get myself to do it. I quickly saw the end of the road.
Right.
Right? Like, I was just like, oh, this is how it ends? This is the best. This is pointless. Why am I selling printers? I would get into these big heady, like, what is the point of this?
Yeah. I mean, a lot of it's went through. Like, I loved working at Procter & Gamble, but at the end of the day, it was like, what's the end game? Like, I'm selling soap.
Yeah,
it's not.
There's
more to life.
There's other people that are like, I'm selling soap so I can go be on the softball team and go home and watch Game of Thrones and be with my family.
It's fuel for the engine.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
But for me, I'm like, screw that. They have 80% of my life. I'm giving you 80% of my life so I can watch 2 episodes of GOT. Nah, man. Yeah, but I got an OLED TV. I made it. Nah, dude, you didn't make it.
Yeah.
Like, you don't have freedom. You have, right? Like, so for me, I was like, if I'm at a job and I'm living for the weekend, I've lost. If I'm living for the scraps of the week, oh man, I've lost. Can I flip the paradigm where the scraps of the week are like, yeah, all right, fine, I'll be home and I'll watch. Like, that's what's so cool to me. The scraps of the week where I'm home and I'm like, do you want to watch Stranger Things?
Yeah.
That is like the exception, not the rule. I'm less excited to do that than to like write or work on my new show.
Yeah, then you won. Like,
yeah,
our friend Monrock says that. She's like, you don't work a 9 to 5. You won. You beat the system.
Yeah, to me that's the thing.
And so we made it.
Yeah, and then like I said, it's like,
I mean, we're on different levels.
No. But when do you retire? Death? So it doesn't matter.
Right. Yeah, no one leaves the game.
Not really, unless you choose to. You either get like so rich that you don't want to do it anymore, or you just choose to. You don't love it anymore, and you just don't do it.
What was that next step then after that?
The second thing was, all right, now you've done Sacramento and Davis, and you're driving to San Francisco. Live in San Francisco, be the best possible comedian you can there.
Right.
Move to San Francisco, won
the
94.9 best comic standing. Okay, now move to LA. Like, you're one of the better comics in the city. You've honed your craft, moved to LA and try to rise in the ranks. And when I moved in 2009, and from the time I left in 2013 or 2014, that was the thing. Can I can I try to build traction and make it happen? And the next big inflection point was, I think, getting hired at The Daily Show. And then
So before Daily Show, what was that point in LA where you felt like you did accomplish that?
it was just little victories, getting a TV credit, making a viral video, and getting, having that connect.
Mm-hmm.
Getting new faces.
Was that Spider-Man? Was that the first one?
No. I think it was The Truth.
Okay.
Ashton Kutcher pop shows.
Okay, it's like Ghostface.
That was like a big inflection point for me.
Yeah.
Like, oh man, you can make something that's purely your voice, and it resonated and popped with people.
How much of that was industry versus your own stuff? So like you were always on the grind with The Truth, with Ghostface, all those things, but then you had like Ridiculousness or Philosophy, and Disaster Date, and all those other things you were doing. I mean, I know you'll say that the things of which you're most proud of are the ones you created. Of course, that's what a lot of creators say. But did they sort of feed each other, and what was the mechanism there?
I think they feed each other-ish, but I'll just be 100% honest. In hindsight, everything that you do that you're cast in, it's a Diet Pepsi version of yourself. It's low-calorie Rajiv. It's just kind of like a shadow of what you really are. And the stuff that you write, and the stuff that we love, that we as consumers and artists love the most, are those like things that when you hear the full story about it, you hear, oh, that artist or that writer director wrote the movie themselves, directed it themselves. It was their passion project. Why is that the recurring theme in all those pieces of work?
Of course.
Because that's the best stuff. It has the least amount of notes from the outside. There's less cooks in the kitchen. That means that you put the effort into writing that thing or going into the studio and recording that thing, and it was purely yours.
When did you know you were good? Like, was there a point where you're just like, I'm good at this? Like, and we're always evolving. It's a craft. You learn. Dick Gregory, the whole thing. But like, when you go, man, yeah, dude, I'm good.
I think I had, like there was windows of time in my life where it was just like there would be blips. Really, there weren't like whole pockets where I'm like, oh man, I'm really, really good. Yeah. Like right now, I've sort of discarded my whole hour. Right. That came out.
You burn the boats.
Yeah, you burn that, and now I'm building my new show. Right. And so like when people are like, oh, you're good, you're funny. Yeah, but I burned that. I had to burn all 30 minutes from the White House Correspondents Dinner, so I can't use any of those jokes, right? I have to do a whole new show. Yeah. And so, yes, I look at things that I'm proud of, but with this game that we're playing, stand-up or comedy, man, you got to be back in the gym, and when you burn everything, you're back in the gym and you're flabby.
Yeah, we're talking about that, right? Yeah, you're flabby, and it's just like the moment of victory has passed, so it's like time to move on to the next one. On to the next one. That's you're a J fan after all.
Huge.
But do you have any interesting run-ins with celebrities? Like, what are some cool, like, fun little moments? I saw you were with Steve Aoki. That was Game 7. I saw that. Yeah. I was like, oh my gosh, this is like one of your bits of heaven. It has to be.
Yeah. Probably the craziest was like the Met Gala. That was really.
I saw that pit because that was like you, Aziz, like
Mindy, Riz. Yeah, but like that room is like. It's like if you did LSD and you're like, hey man, like I was in a room and Madonna was there and Kim Kardashian was there and Lil Uzi Vert was sitting next to me. You'd be like, what?
It's a dream.
Yeah, that's what the Met Gala is. Yeah. But it's a cool room. But I remember I went with Trevor Noah, and this was so cool. Trevor gave me like this dope, amazing piece of advice. He was just like, look man, like don't let fame or whatever define you. Like take it out like it's a test drive on a car. Yeah. Like enjoy this. Like go enjoy the night. But realize there's a lot of people in this room that if they don't get invited back the next year, they failed. Yeah. So it's a trap for them. Yeah. And so as soon as they take away fame from you, it's as if they took a piece of you away. And man, that was one of the best pieces of advice I ever got. Because he's such a, people know that he's a charismatic, charming, funny guy. Of course. But he's also like a very deep, wise soul. So the way he was moving in that room is he was just like, this is fun. And when they tell me that I'm not cool anymore, I'll have this memory. He's going up, hey, what's up, Nicki Minaj, selfie. He doesn't care. Yeah. And that's really cool. Because he's not taking it too seriously. Yeah. Whereas like there was a lot of people in that room. Putting on they're very like,
be aware of. I remember there was a comic who said, we're not going to say who it was, but I can't talk to you at the Improv. Like, because I can't be seen talking to you, like we're at different levels. And people who get into that game, just like, wow. I mean, I guess on one level it's honest. Like somebody who said that, I think it was to you. I was like, wow, I guess that's honest on some level, but it's also like, but you know how crappy that is. So why don't you change the game? Why don't you not be that person?
Right. And then when you also like really break it down, when you listen to that sentence, you're just like, oh man.
Yeah, that's what I've become.
Or like if that's what you think like you live and die by, oh man, I'm sorry.
What drives you?
Look, I feel gratitude. I feel super lucky. Like I get to do what I love to do, and I found what I love to do at a relatively young age.
Yeah.
So I've really lucked out. Like I got a lot of friends that I have like so many friends with so many different talents. They don't know which way to go. So the fact that I just found what I wanted to do very quickly, and I have some decent level of talent with it, that is just gratitude. Now it's like, man, that and you're in America, you gotta press go. You have to put your foot on the gas.
Yeah, because what's the worst thing that's gonna happen? They always say we're 2 moves away from bankruptcy, but I feel like being the kids of immigrants and like how bad are you really gonna screw up? Like go for it, because worst comes worst, I mean you can go back to Office Max. You're not gonna go to Office Max. You can work a job that's still like, it's not like, it's a shell, like you said, a shadow of what you would do.
Did you see that Jim Carrey documentary on Netflix?
I haven't yet.
Oh, it was awesome. There's a moment where he's talking about his dad and his dad getting fired. And he tears up and he says, it really taught me, because his dad wanted to be a jazz musician. And he said that what's sad about that is it showed me that you can even fail at a sure thing. So if that's the case, then you might as well just go for it.
Yeah. Wait, he failed at being a jazz musician?
No, he wasn't a jazz musician. He had a regular like 9-to-5 job and got fired.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
And so he's like, you can
still
still fail
no
at a sure thing.
Yeah, so you may as well.
So
it's swinging at the third strike, right? It's
yeah,
like, just, at least you went for it.
But I think also like, look, that being said, you pull equally from like, be honest with yourself. I'm never gonna be I'm never gonna make the league.
Right.
Give it a try. Give it a shot. But know that like, hey, this may not be written for you. And by the way, like people try to like dupe and deceive you into like giving the right answer. Like, hey man, don't you want to be a movie star? Nah, I don't. Why do I have to be?
Right. Knowing what you want. Yeah.
Every rapper doesn't have to be an actor.
Yeah.
That doesn't have to be the new paradigm.
Yeah. It kind of is, but yeah, they
it
don't
kind
have
of is,
to be.
but then you don't have to.
Yeah. I remember you said that a long time ago because we would talk about, Aziz or something. I was like, and you had a really mature point of view even back then. You were just like, whatever's written for him. It's like whatever his path is, whatever my path is, whatever. Because we're just talking about people who are big in the game, like Russell, Aziz, people just, especially in the Indian game, comedy-wise. And it never seemed like that's what drove you. It was like getting to a certain level because someone else was there. It was like, this is your path, that's his path, that's her path.
Yeah.
Whatever is written for me is what it's going to be.
Yeah, I'm more inspired by, like, I'll tell you something I'm inspired by right now. John Mulaney added a 6th Radio City Music Hall show.
I just saw him walking down the street. That was pretty cool.
Come on, man.
That's nuts,
A 6th Radio City Music Hall show.
That's crazy. That's bananas.
You know what's most impressive about that? It isn't the fact that he's doing Radio City and it's 6 shows.
Right.
It's the fact that, dude, he churns out material like crazy.
Yeah. He's super prolific.
Super prolific. That gets me shaking in my boots. Mm-hmm. Not that like, so-and-so is really famous? What?
Yeah.
No, I'm like, dude, this guy is churning out hours like this. He just did Broadway. He just did Oh Hello, and they just did a special. And then they did an animated show, and I got to see his new stuff. I'm like, dude, this is incredible.
Yeah, he's a beast.
Yeah.
Are things in the world getting better or worse?
I don't know, man. I like to consider myself an angry optimist.
That's a good way of putting it.
Like I'm not happy with the state of a lot of things in the world.
Yeah, I won.
But are you serious?
I think so, right?
Where?
Diagonal, right? Does that count?
Oh, you won.
Bananas. Yeah. All right. Wow. Cool.
Yeah.
Nice.
Do we keep talking or are we done?
Yeah, it's over now. Yeah, I should have just held it. No. We'll keep wrapping. I want to hear the story.
Oh, that's great.
That'd be so great if I'm just like, you know what, we can't do any more questions.
We'll call it. I consider myself to be an angry optimist. I think that I'm not happy with the state of the way things are in the world, but I think there's an incredible amount of potential for good.
Yeah. You think we were going in the right direction?
In some ways, no. In some ways, yes. Like it's, like as I get older, I'm just realizing things aren't always in absolutes.
Yeah.
And kids see things as absolutes.
Yeah.
But adults have to navigate gray.
There's a lot of gray.
Yeah, like yes, Donald Trump is president. Yes, and at the same time, Elon Musk is like making these like tiny little solar battery
packs.
Yeah,
he just did that thing in Australia.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
Right?
Crazy.
It's like that's light and darkness.
Yeah.
Right? So I have this weird theory where I'm like, yeah, maybe heaven and hell exist on Earth at the same time.
Well, that's what Hindus believe.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
There's no like.
There's no other thing. This is it.
This is it.
Yeah. I mean, there's a collective consciousness and all that kind of stuff, and no one's ever gonna know, right? But yeah, I mean, that's what I believe for sure, is that it's here. Like, there are people who seem like everything goes their way. They have amazing lives, and I know some people like that, and you're like, well, yeah, but what's it really like? I'm like, I would say I know a couple people whose lives are on fleek. As a kid,
what is their life like?
They're well-to-do, they're good-looking, they're respected, they seem to be the full package, funny, smart, outgoing, and I've asked them just point blank, are you happy? Like, is what I'm seeing, is this all real? Like, once I get to know them, right? And it just seems like, yeah, they're just super grateful, and they don't really, I mean, but it led me to believe, like, how many people do you actually know? Like, where you would just...
But I don't think even those people live in heaven all the time.
It's not all the time, but it's still like...
The macro is heaven?
Good. Yeah.
Really?
Seems like that. And some people's lives just seem like they're hell. Like, I know some people I can think of, I'm not gonna say their names.
Yeah.
But I'm just like, wow, like, nothing goes their way. Just, wow, that just seems like, it's just Sisyphus, just continually pushing this rock up the hill.
Okay.
My gosh, it just seems hard to be you, man. That just looks difficult.
Okay.
And
what do you think? What do you think your life is?
I think I'm in the former camp. I think that I have your point of view, which is that I live in the United States. I get to do what I want to do for a living. I'm married to this incredible woman. We own a plot of land in California. I'm an Ohio boy. I own land in California. That still blows my mind.
Right.
And I get a lot of pleasure out of little things. I get to, you know what I mean? You know me. Like, I get so excited about it. I can have a cup of tea. Oh my God. And I get so excited about the idea that I'm soon going to have a cup of tea. I love boiling the water. I love pouring it over a tea bag. I love adding my sugar. I love sipping it. And I can just be happy just doing that.
Right.
And I think that's life. It's just the victory in that. Having said that, you know that I get extremely angry over little things too.
Right.
And that feels like hell sometimes.
Right.
Like, man, like, and then you have the guilt of like, dude, come on, you have it all. Like, how are you upset? But yeah, I'd say overall, knock on wood. I mean, I'm blessed. I don't have incredible fame and fortune, but I don't know if I'd be any happier if I did.
I don't think you would be. I don't think anyone is.
Yeah, I think it's those things. I think it's being happy over a cup of tea. I like the fact that you can get that into it.
Yeah,
is crazy. Do you feel happier now than you were a few years ago, or is it the same level? You think there's good and bad, like whatever?
Yeah, I think I'm happier now a bit, but I think it's just happy from. I just love the process. I just love like pouring myself into work, into a story, into what I'm doing, and seeing it become something is really cool.
I've realized with myself that when I look at projects, especially as there's like a means and an end, if I look at things as a means, I'm miserable. If I look at it as an end, I'm happy.
What do you mean by that?
We performed at Spotify, right? And that was an amazing thing to I wrote this thing, taking a stand, toured at 18 cities, whatever, and I got invited to perform at Spotify. First stand-up show ever there is what we were told. And it was like, if I'm like, what can I get out of this? Then I'm upset and disappointed and all those things. But if I'm like, this is the reward. This is the end goal. Like, you get to do this.
Right.
Then I'm happy. Then it's like, I went into the show going, man, this is like dope, I get to do this. Like, don't worry about where it's gonna lead. If you are always worrying about where something's gonna lead, then you're just gonna be clinging on, and you're gonna be waiting for that moment that just kind of never comes.
Right.
So let's do some fun ones. You're convicted of a white collar crime. Which one do you want to be convicted of?
Convicted of a white collar crime? Banking, because you get off.
Yeah, clearly. That's true. As a white person, I don't know about a brown person. I don't know. Maybe you will.
Do they do the brown bankers they don't get thrown in prison, do they?
No, because they can. There's states that have laws like Florida where they can't confiscate your assets and you're still falling out. You may go to like minimum security prison.
Yeah.
And all that kind of stuff. So you get away with it.
Yeah, like that's the new like you want to be like a legal drug lord. Just get into banking.
Yeah. What's most exciting live sporting event you've seen?
Game 7 NBA Finals. Yeah, when LeBron, the block. Yeah. I mean, I saw it live, man. I saw it there.
That's so
It was
nuts.
so crazy. In the silence that was in that room. Oh my God. I can't tell you how happy I was to see the entire Bay Area just get their life sucked from them. Dude, you blew a 3-1 lead. You blew a 3-1 lead.
Yeah.
They came back. Cleveland came to Golden State.
Phenomenal.
And straight up jacked you.
Yeah.
It was incredible.
When all the chips are down.
Yeah.
Ridiculous. That should be the ending. When they say the best paintings have already been painted, they say that about paintings. Would you say that about stand-up?
I think there's so much room. That's what I love about art, man. There's so much room where music is going, and there's so much room where comedy's going.
So you think music's getting better?
I think music's getting great. Yeah, man. Dude, we're living in a time where there's so much music, and there's so many people getting to experiment and create their own little sublanes.
Yeah.
It's not about, now we don't live in a time where Jimmy Iovine has to say, okay, you're the one.
Yeah, no gatekeeper.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what that allows is that there's like this plethora of styles and of musicians and cross-pollinating within genres and new genres being formulated underneath larger genres. Dude, it's a great time. And I think the same thing with comedy. Like, the world is getting smaller by Netflix, absorbing all of this different comedy content. Artists are seeing different people's work. It's elevating our game.
True.
I think we're living in like a renaissance for art.
That's awesome. That's a great way to put it. That's an encouraging way to put it. You had asked me this question, and then I think it was like the Steve Jobs documentary, Rest in Peace, Great Men Cannot Be Good Men.
Yeah.
You had asked me that, and you're the first person I'd ever heard say that. Do you think, can great men be good men?
Yeah, I've seen it with my own eyes now.
Wow.
Yeah, Jon Stewart, Stephen Colbert are in character, excellent men, and in what they've accomplished in their life, undeniable goats.
And they're good people.
They're amazing people. And they're amazing people because of the way they treated people when the cameras weren't on. They set a precedent at work that I think is really great, and I hope I can do what they do.
How many animals have you ridden? You made like a horse sound. That was sort of perfect. That was kind of that was amazing.
Horse, elephant when I was a kid, donkey, probably a donkey at some point
Probably
when I
at
was
like
a kid.
a fair or something.
Yeah, at a fair. So maybe 3.
3?
Yeah.
What
about you?
Yeah, horse, elephant, human. I don't know, does that count?
Yeah. Piggyback ride or whatever?
Piggyback rides, yeah.
Is that recent or?
That's, I don't know. I could probably ride
week?
on your back pretty easily.
Right.
Absolutely, That's what I'm doing with this show.
Yeah.
So, anyway. When you have inspiration, where do you feel that come in your body? Like when you get an idea for a joke or whatever else. Like I was going to describe it like moment of truth as like you get the idea and then you only know it works. Like that's our first moment of truth. Second moment of truth is when it works on stage.
Yeah.
And third is like when people quote it back to you. That's insane. Like,
Yeah.
oh my gosh, I love that one joke you do. And they tell it to their friend when you're there or whatever.
That's
you're like,
pretty cool.
Dude, that's boss.
Yeah. To me, it's just like seeing a comet or a shooting star or lightning. It's these little blips. It doesn't happen often.
Yeah, it's hard to contain it. In a bottle, right?
It's hard to put lightning in a bottle.
That's what's
But it's like that's the whole game. It's chasing that.
When you make something good or bad, do you know it like before you go out there, or do you just not know until you go out? Like, do you have a sense of like, I don't know. Well, I won't clown anybody's art, but I will just say that you see some crap out there and you're like, did they ever think that was going to be good? Like, have you ever been surprised? Like pleasantly, we're like, I don't think this is gonna work. Like, was there a bit like that for you that you felt super personal and like, man, I'm amazed that worked?
It's interesting. I think my instincts are getting better, where I'm quickly able to delineate and say that's a good take, that's a good joke, that's kind of weak. But then I will still be surprised at moments where a tag will just like that you just sort of like set off the top of your head. You just sort of was an aside. Makes the audience like lose it. You're like, that's where, okay.
Yeah. That's always a pleasant surprise. It's like a Timmy or whatever.
Yeah. Are you a morning person?
Only when someone dies. Morning, anyone? With a U? For a comic, I mean like 8:30, I think it's pretty early. But no, I mean, I kind of wish I could get up at like 5, 6 a.m. I did today for this, but normally no, it's very, very, that's why I don't work in corporate America. That's the number one thing when people are like, what's the best thing about comedy? I'm like, I don't have to wake up in the morning. That's the best thing.
Oh, right.
You do, right? Because Daily Show and things like that.
Yeah.
Are you? Or you become a morning person?
I need to become, that's one of my big goals. I got to become a morning person.
Become early, like get there 5 minutes early and become a morning person.
Yeah. Like I'm talking about like 6 a.m. I can't operate at that level yet, but I like everybody that I know that is able to get a lot done. Yeah. Even if they're working till late at night, you just have to start early.
It's true, but I think what's hard is, I was talking about this with her show, but with my wife, I'm like, we're trying to get kind of on the same schedule or whatever, but we will both work from home, which is great. So I can go hit mics, do whatever at night, all that stuff. It's like, I've seen her all day, so it's okay. But I can't get to the point where I go to bed at 10, because what about when I do shows and I have to host and do stuff, so like go do a 10 o'clock show, your body can't feel like, oh my gosh, I can't do this. So I'm like, I'm not gonna get to the point where I'm just consistently getting up at 6 and going to bed at 10. That just doesn't make any sense.
Right.
Maybe I can like just go to bed at 12. I did that when I first got to LA. I would go to bed at like 3 and get up at 8 and didn't take any naps. I just did that for 5 years.
Right.
But it's not sustainable.
Yeah.
That's the key. What's sustainable?
You want me to share a thought that I was thinking?
Yeah.
Where I'm like, all right, this is like, these are the things that I've noticed. Because I think I've been famous adjacent a lot, where I've gotten to work with a lot of people that are like really, really super all-time great. Yeah. You know, like the Mulaney's or the Jon Stewarts, the Seinfelds or the Trevor Noahs, like the people that are like really, really like next level. Okay, this is what I think that your gifts are. If you have like these 4 to 5 gifts, okay, you will be unstoppable. Okay. All right, number 1. This goes without saying. Just like, do you have a talent? Like, are you really good at a specific thing? Right? The Rock is like really buff, and he's really good at that. Or Kevin Hart is really good at that.
He's good at being buff.
He's like buff and charismatic, and people like him, right?
Yeah,
like it's just like
that's a thing.
That's a thing. That's a talent. Just like this person is really beautiful, and they can sing. Like, this person is really funny. This person's really witty. This person is really British, or whatever their talent is.
This person's just so
whatever they're but is it like an undeniable talent, right? Sure. But these are the next things that people don't talk about. Okay. The second is, do you can you maintain a high level of energy? Yeah. Okay. Like people that I've noticed that are like truly successful can get up, do radio press starting at like 7 a.m. Mm-hmm. And if you're a quarterback, all eyes are on you, and they're doing that until 11 p.m. at night. They're hosting a show, then they're debriefing, then they're going to
they just keep going.
A gala, then they're going to whatever, and they keep delivering. And they're number 1 on the call sheet and all of those things, and they have a high level of energy through all of that. You know how hard it is to be like president or a senator? Like, everybody's looking at you. You have to
all eyes on me.
Yeah, you have to be from 6:58 a.m. when people first see you till it closes. So you have a high level, and can you maintain the energy?
Yeah, okay.
Like I dip, right? I'm like, oh man, I'm tired. Maintain the energy. Number 3, can you run on a little amount of sleep? Because at the end of the day, I don't care what I say, how hard I'm working. Beyonce is doing more in 24 hours than I am. Obama's doing more in 24 hours than I am. Donald effing Trump is doing more in 24 hours than I am. Like, they're working with the same 24 hours. Yep. And they're sustaining that January 1st, 2017 till December 31st. Their schedule, they will be awake for more hours than me.
True.
Period.
Yeah.
Right?
You can't win if you don't play.
And he's 71 effing years old. Whether you think he's good or bad at his job, god damn, the guy gets the call, hey, Mr. President, you need to come downstairs. He comes downstairs. They spray tan him. They miss the bottom of his eyes. He does the swoop thing with his hair, and from the moment he gets up till night, whether or not he's bad or good, he's still up for 21 hours. And he's doing it at a sustainable level. So can you run on little sleep? That's the third thing. Because at the end of the day, there's gonna just be days where Jeff Bezos has to just be up for 21 hours for 17 days straight. Number 4, do you not get sick?
Yeah, that's a good one. You never sick at sea.
Because mortals get sick.
Yeah. Yeah.
These guys and gals, they don't get sick, right? Did you notice, like, Donald Trump will eat fast food, is morbidly obese, didn't get sick on the campaign trail. It's hard. his rival, his opponent did.
Yeah.
Right?
True.
It's very difficult.
That's 4.
And then number 5.
So to recap, as you're saying that, so okay, first
Tal-
you have a talent,
talent,
2, energy, 3,
3,
run on very little sleep,
and
4,
not get
don't
sick.
get sick, stay healthy, stay in the game.
Yeah.
5 is, okay, so I always think of love, luck, drive, desire, talent. So maybe it's one of those. Talent, you already covered drive, just I guess you kind of covered that. Desire, like maybe a purpose or something, or luck,
I think maybe.
support, I don't know.
Yeah, maybe luck. But I think those things that I've noticed, I've been like, man, if you have those 4, oh man, it's killer.
So some of those things are just innate.
And
like
they're
you
innate.
just have them or you don't.
But I don't think people talk about those last 3.
Yeah.
The lack of sleep, the sustained energy, and the not getting sick.
That's true.
I don't think people realize you go to certain people's lives. It's not like, oh man, I had a crazy summer. No, there's people that have like
They have a crazy life.
They have crazy 6-year, 8-year, 12-year runs. It's insane.
That's nuts.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's a good way to put it.
And I'll just be frank. I don't have some of those innate things.
You do get sick?
I get sick. I get tired.
Yeah.
Like I get fatigued. So are those things that you can work on? Yeah, you can maybe train yourself.
Yeah,
ideally.
sleep. Yeah, you absolutely. And eat well, let food be thy medicine, all that stuff.
Yeah.
I'm glad we asked you if you had
that on
anything else to
wax.
say. Brother, drop some knowledge, man. You do get ill because I've seen you get ill on a mic. That's what's up, man. Absolutely,
see you,
for
man.
sure.
Next week on What Do You Bring to the Table?
Is this along the lines of when they say like belief clings and faith lets go?
Very
Is that-
good, very good. Belief is a cover-up for uncertainty.
Sure, and like insecurity.
Yeah, it's a cover-up. I don't ask you, do you believe in electricity? Yeah, we are. This is.
It's gonna shine whether I believe in it or not.
Yeah. So belief is a cover-up for insecurity, but faith comes from the knowledge and experience of the invisible, without which there would be no visible.